What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting here tonight. We're at the Iowa Speedway for the Underdog Racing League for their truck series. As the old racetrack here, very slick and bumpy, should be a fantastic battle down to the very end as these drivers are in qualifying in a moment. But before we get into all that, we need to give a shout out to all the sponsors here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting that help make this happen. And we are a proud partner with ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the powers of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air like a traditional speaker, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful bass response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to buttkicker.com so you can feel what you've been missing. You can use Freaky Fast 20 there to get 20% off of any purchase at buttkicker.com. And remember, that is Freaky Fast 20 and Freaky with 2 E's. So make sure you go there, check out that, and you can feel what you've been missing there from ButtKicker. So shout out to them there for being a proud sponsor here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting here. But we are here tonight at the Iowa Speedway with the Underdog Racing League, and it's going to be one heck of a show. I am Zach Hall up in the booth here tonight, and we have Brian Johnson up here also here calling the shots with us tonight, as Lee Tidwell was not able to make it. But we got Robert Moore Jr. also here bringing us the camera shots as always here, Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as qualifying's nearing the halfway point. But Brian, welcome back in the booth, man. It's good to have you back up here.
It is good to be here. I'm excited. We got some truck racing going on, and I like these trucks. I enjoyed doing a race with this Underdog League before, so I'm sure we're going to have a good time tonight.
It will be a fantastic time, that's for sure. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here, as always, on Freaky Fast Broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube. But it looks like we got about a little bit less, almost a little bit less than 1 minute to go here, as Jason Fensler is on top of that poll right now. As here's your points leader coming in here tonight with Trevor Earhart in that 25 in the second position. Mike Aiello Jr. in that third spot. Fourth's going to be Justin Stannard. Fifth is Parker Johnston, as that's your top five so far for qualifying. We got 1 minute left. Looks like one driver is the only driver not to yet put time down, and I think he'll be putting the time down this time with Michael Simmons here in the 00.
Yeah, all these guys went out there early to get their laps done. It is overcast here, so with the way the tracks are now, you don't really have to worry about going out onto the track during qualifying at the right time to get that extra 100th. But yeah, I mean, the top two guys, only two guys to break that 24-second mark. So really pushing the limit of the grip.
Yes, they definitely are. It looks like Michael Simmons, they're going to put himself in 22nd with his first lap of a 25.002 from that 00 machine. As looks like right now he'll be sitting on the tail end of this field, but see if he can put down a better lap on the second lap as them tires come up to heat. See what he's got. Oh, time did not allow it. As you see, he just, oh man, he was about 10 feet shy. Unfortunate for him there, but we'll go ahead and pull up our starting grid here tonight at the Underdog Racing League as their truck series is ready to take on the Iowa Speedway. There it is, starting grid up, and Jason Fensler is going to bring home that pole here tonight on leading the points. Just been looking very strong each and every week. Second last week at Knoxville. Second's going to go to Trevor Earhart. Third's going to be Mike Aiello Jr. in the 74. Fourth's going to be Justin Stannard. Fifth, Parker Johnston. Sixth is Eddie Wildermuth. Seventh, Kevin Orlando Jr. Eighth, Sean Hustutler. Ninth, Nick Alves. 10th, Matt Job. 11th is going to go to Dylan Walterman. 12th, Peyton Presley. 13th, Ian Baker. 14th, Christopher Heights. 15th is Daryl Whitford. 16th, Brett Somers. 17th, James Loveland. 18th, Lance Durham. 19th will go to Dennis Steele. 20th is Kevin Whitford. 21st, Scott Kerberg. And 22nd, Michael Simmons. And that is your field here tonight for the Underdog Racing League as they take on the Iowa Speedway here live on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Brian, tell you what, man, you're a very accomplished driver yourself in these trucks. You know, I got to give a little stat accolade here to let everybody know how well this man can drive behind the wheel of these trucks. I mean, this guy right here led the eNASCAR Road to Pro Series in wins last year, and looking to possibly get himself into the Pro Series this upcoming season, maybe with a little bit better luck on his side, but had a great season last year. And this is one of the places you fought at, Iowa. So what are these drivers going to be experiencing with these trucks here at the Iowa Speedway?
Well, you know, it's funny you bring that up because, you know, this has to be one of my top three race cars in iRacing and my bottom three tracks in iRacing. Iowa is pretty tough for me. I don't know why. I just can't wrap my head around this thing. But you've got the progressive banking, so the higher you go, the more banking there is, and so there's going to be a tad bit more grip up there. So you can really kind of search around a little bit on this track, trying to find some time. You know, it's only 0.88 miles, so just under a mile. It's technically a short track, but really you're really gonna want to manage those right side tires as always on these trucks. Just suit that's so important. And I think just from looking at practice, these guys might be experiencing some push loose center off. So we'll have to keep a close eye on the exit of these corners to see where some action might take place.
Action-packed racing is about to transpire here as the pace car, I must say the iRacing branded pace car, going to pull off here and get ready to lead us to the green flag. As we heard the great insight there from Brian Johnson, green flag is in the air. Down to turn one, Jason Fensler looking strong already with that start there. It's going to be side by side for that second position as they head down to turn one.
Yeah, Mike able to clear for second, so that's good for him. Already up one position in one corner. And you're going to have Trevor and Justin battling it out for third coming out of four.
Yes, sir. Trevor Earhart, they're dropping one position back to that third spot, but here comes Justin Stannard with the run down the front straightaway. Next battle is Kevin Orlando Jr. on the inside of Parker Johnston in that number 48 machine is it's side by side from there on back. Eddie Wildermuth, Sean Husteller, Dylan Walterman, Nick Alves, Ian Baker in the picture in the 88 is going to have a few guys trying to come through this back here. As we always see that here in racing with these trucks, you can come through the field and make passes.
28 in the wall there a little bit, or 26 rather.
Yeah, it looks like that was Eddie Wildermuth there, as Brian pointed it out, into the wall off of 4. A little bit of right side damage, but it looked very light and a casual contact. Nothing too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. Hopefully, it doesn't take a whole lot of right front damage to mess these trucks up a little bit. So hopefully, he kept that clean. As we still have Kevin Orlando and Parker Johnston trying to figure out who's going to take this 5th position here. They've been running side by side ever since the drop of the green flag. And as I say that, they finally figured out Parker going to take that position. As you see, some of these guys, they're venturing up near the top.
Yeah, and that's a definite possibility of this track. I think in 1 and 2, you're going to see less of that. Most people venturing maybe middle to bottom. But 3 and 4, this place has options. And, what do you feel the differences are there between the lines there in 3 and 4, Brian? Because, you could run bottom, middle to top, really.
Yeah, well, one thing, the obvious is the inside's the short way around and the outside's the long way around. So, that's +1 for the bottom. But, coming off of the top, you were able to just get massive runs out of the corner. You're able to keep your speed up in the center and still have that grip, have the rear under you. And so the exit is just monumental compared to on the inside. But the other thing about the inside is that you can do some slide job like the 48 tried to do to the 27. It didn't work out.
Man, oh man, the 27 there, Kevin Orlando Jr. dropping back there. As like you said, that could have been even worse than it played out there, but it looks like loss of momentum as the 27 Kevin Orlando Jr. slides back. Looking at Nick Alves now in his 24 here. He's in that 10th position. Battling the 46, Dylan Walterman there. He's got the freaky fast colors on that 46. Thank you for that, Dylan Walterman. As he's got Matt Job in the 89 directly behind him, with James Loveland coming into the picture.
Yeah, you got some of these guys starting to make their way through the field. You have Ian Baker in the 88. He started 13th up to 8th. Dylan started 11th up to 9th. And even James Loveland in the 56 started 17th up to 12th. So you got these guys, maybe not so good of maybe 1 or 2 lap speed, but on that longer run, they're able to save those right side tires, keep that speed up, and not lose so much time lap to lap.
I'd say, this is the second Wednesday night we've had you up here at Underdog Racing League, Brian. We've had a good bit of nights here, so I've kind of learning on a few of these drivers here as we ride on board that 24 Nick Alves. Directly behind Nick Alves in that 12th position, battling with Matt Job there directly behind the 89 is James Loveland. And you brought up him 17th and 12th right now, fighting for that 11th position. We ride on board with him. Each and every week, it seems like qualifying is not the strong suit on the 56, but he always seems to race up through the pack. And this guy's got multiple wins on the season, so we can't count him out driving up through here and possibly challenge him for this, as he's been a strong driver all season. But I tell you what, Ian Baker, the other driver you pointed out, in the 88, now up to the 8th position, he is a driver I would expect to qualify a little bit better in this 88. He's qualified very well all season and been up front all season. But starting at 13th, I still don't put it past him to drive up here and put himself possibly into the top 3. We've seen it all year long. He's been one of the strongest trucks, and the guy, the only other multi-time winner other than Jason Finsler and James Loveland.
Well, that's some cool little facts. It's good to know.
Got to hit him with the facts, Brian. It's freaky fast facts, okay? I spit them out.
Fast facts, triple F.
The triple F here. I got the freaky fast facts here.
Triple F special.
Oh man, Brian's coming up with all the new cool ideas. That's the cool thing with getting new people in the booth too. Brian, used to do this all the time back in the day, but this is now a rare occasion for you, and it was cool to be able tonight as Atlanta was under some renovation here in iRacing, so you couldn't get some testing in there yourself for that eNASCAR race coming up. To have you up in the booth, it's kind of cool to have that fresh spin on it, because sometimes you get into that routine, and having someone new like you up here is going to put a spin on the night's broadcast. I think people will like.
hopefully that's the only spinning that's going to be happening. I want all of these guys to do really well. I don't want to see any trucks get wrecked, but it's probably going to happen. Hey, it's short track. It's in the Midwest. It's Iowa. Anything could happen. As I was just watching James Loveland pick up another position, I believe.
He's
As,
up to 10th now.
coming up through the back. We did have I felt like we tried to get 3 wide with Eddie Woodermuth and Daryl Whitford and Brett Summers, but that kind of all sorted out. It feels kind of spread out here a little bit, and you're really going to start seeing the comers and goers now that everybody has their little piece of track to themselves. Clean air, dirty air, not a huge factor here, but everybody able to run whatever line they want to, except for maybe up in second place. We've got a battle between Mike and Trevor there.
Yeah, and I noticed that forming there between the 25 and the 74. Looks like Trevor Hart going to be able to get around the 74 on Mike Alo Jr. And I tell you what, Trevor started second, slid back to third immediately with Mike getting by him there. This is kind of switching back to pretty much their starting positions, as our top 5 is all where they started here. It's actually starting to fire up there for that 5th position, I think, with that 94 Sean Huffstetter there trying to get on the inside of Parker Johnson. But yeah, I seen Alo Jr. in the 74 dropping back. And I think Finsler starting to stretch it on the field here, as we've seen this season. That 5 truck on long runs, untouchable, and it's continuing to show that here. As Parker Johnson going to the inside of Justice Thunard, as he was under attack from Sean Huffstetter. He's able to rebound here, get to the inside of 33, see if he can make the pass down here in 3 and 4 though.
Yeah, looking at the lap times, Jason, is he 48? Kind of cut that close. But Jason up front, he's consistently a 10th or 2 quicker than anybody else on the track. Second quickest guy is Parker Johnson there in the 48, according to the last 5 laps, roughly. And then you have Trevor Earhart in that 25. But still, Jason is, he's gone. He's out of here.
Yeah, that's something we've seen multiple times this season from that 5. It's just some tracks, dominant long run. Guys can definitely, I feel like guys have had something for him if he makes a mistake or, something happens, transpires where it just doesn't play out the race. And some tracks haven't played out for him the way he probably wanted to. But there's just some tracks that Jason just comes here, man. His truck is just on rails out there, and he's had a fantastic season so far in Underdog Racing.
Oh, man, Dylan Walterman tried to make that slide job work. He wasn't fully committed on the slide. I could tell he wanted to, though. But the pack right here, up from about 5th to 10th, is really tightened up.
It really has, and look at it right now. Really, the fastest truck last time by, I believe, was Peyton Presley in the 11, 25.19, as that's actually where our leader runs this next time by too. So, leader matching the car running in the 19th position is 11. So Peyton Presley there, great laps for himself. As that time 25.33, so maybe just not the most consistent with that lap time, but he was able to put down a very quick time the time before.
Oh man, that race for 5th is getting really tight. Tried to go 3 wide, but oh man, Sean Huffstetter got a little tight there. Had to check up. Got a little bit of right side damage too. Not too bad though.
Now, how could that? What happens to that truck, Brian? Is that you get that right front damage? Because do you feel like it's more of a placebo? Sometimes it can affect you that way, or do you feel like you immediately feel most damage?
For me at least, it's definitely like it's in your mind, especially if you can see it. Because there's some right front damage where you're sitting in the cockpit and you can't see it because it's down low. But that damage that you can see that it's crumpled up the hood on the right side, that definitely, because it's in the corner of your eye the whole time. It does kind of get into your brain a little bit as, a little bit tight, the 94 in the wall.
Oh, man.
Talking about right front damage. So it is a little bit of placebo, but it's mainly just the longer the run goes on after that happens, the tighter it gets. So it just gets so tight, especially you mess with that splitter some, it ruins the aero on the truck, and it's just, it does. You could have a hairline crack in the right front, and the truck will drive completely different in 20 laps than it would have if you didn't have that damage.
Great insight there from yourself, Brian. Yeah, it's tough when you get damage. Look at this 3 wide, 33, just 46, Dylan Walterman, 89, and Matt Job. Looks like Stunner going backwards as these 3 trucks of Loveland, Job, and Walterman try to go forward here. I tell you what, the top 10 right now, or the third to 10th is only separated by 2 seconds. I mean, it is so close from 3rd to 10th.
Yeah, that is very, very close. And even now up here to 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th getting really tight. We're trying to get 3 wide coming out of 4.
Oh no, 3 wide is Elo Jr. in the 74 and Orlando Jr. in the 70 or the 27 there, side by side now, 2 wide. They got Ian Baker in the 88. He's made the biggest run through the field so far from that 13th to that 6th position, and he's been traveling up very strongly here in that 88 as a side by side action between his 27 to 74 continues. Orlando Jr. on the bottom around Mike Elo Jr. That's a junior on junior swap.
I gotta say, from Mike there in the 74, he's got some really good 10-lap speed. If it comes down to a short run at the end, I'm looking for him to get a podium here. But as the run goes on, he does start to slow down a little bit. But short run, got to keep an eye on him. But long run, man, you got to watch out for Parker Johnson here. He has really driven through the pack here and made quite a bit of time on 2nd place here.
Yeah, it's starting to get pretty interesting with it. I think some comers and goers are definitely forming right now, Brian. Some drivers definitely going backwards, and some drivers definitely going forwards. As I tell you what, Parker Johnston under attack from Kevin Orlando Jr. As Orlando Jr. looking stronger and stronger as the run continues on.
And you can see that 48 truck. He's very committed to running about, maybe the 2nd, 3rd lane in 1 and 2, and then running really high in 3 and 4. Another thing that helps running up top like that, especially on a progressive bank track, is that it tends to save the right front a little bit. It wears a little bit more right rear up top, and so if you're a little tight, sometimes you can run up there for a few laps and try to get that tire wear to equal out, and then the balance will kind of come back to you as Mike Jr. there in the 74 trying to get passed by Ian Baker.
Yeah, Ian Baker continuing his work up through. He's going to slide past the 74 Mike Elo Jr., but here comes Elo Jr. back on the bottom. And I tell you what, Elo Jr. is not going to make it easy. Does he slide in front of him? Looks like the 88 will keep that door shut and slide on past on the outside. Still side by side, though, as it looks like he'll maybe clear going off into 3 as well. Actually, the 74 blinks out there. Good thing, because I think there might have been some contact, if not.
Yeah. I mean, all these guys, especially the guys that, like Mike right here, he's on the inside, got a truck to his outside, looking really, really tight. Just has a pretty big lack of turn in with the front center off. And so, yeah, being on the bottom is not where you want to be right now.
It definitely is not. You're going to be getting pretty much what they call trained, straight to the back to the line. So, unfortunately, for that 74, it's a good. But stage ends at lap 40 here tonight. Got 5 to go here, coming up to 5 to go in the stage. And the top 10 received points. Right now, the battle for 10th is heating up too, as Walterman looking to go around the outside here of Loveland. A stunner with the 24 Nick Alvis here, man.
Oh, sorry, Zach. Here's the thing, though, is that you've got Parker Johnston and you've got Kevin Orlando there. They've been battling, and that's let 3rd, 4th, and 5th catch up to him.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's slowing themselves down by battling here and down to the very end, and it's definitely shaping up pretty. It's just Loveland now past Baker for position. That's going to put Baker back to the 7th position. So Loveland continuing forward from 17th, and also Dylan Walterman showing a lot of pace in that 46. So we're definitely seeing some comers and goers as this stage nears. It's that Freaky Fast logo, Brian, on that truck.
I think so. I think so.
A couple hundredths a second.
I mean, we have that on our truck. It seems to work.
Yeah, it does work pretty good, doesn't it? Oh, is Johnston into the wall? He's going to go backwards in the 48 and lose multiple positions, slide himself back to that 6th spot now as Loveland and Walterman go by.
Oh man, that's some heavy right front damage.
That's the type that you don't want.
Well, luckily he'll be saved by the stage caution here in about 2 laps. So we got Jason. I mean, again, just out of here. He took a ride on SN10 to Mars. I mean, that's how far he's gone. 7 seconds ahead of the field. Great job by him.
Yeah, the stage wins are racking up for himself. I say he does this most races that we see. He wins the stage, but I tell you what, in that second stage, to end the here tonight, most drivers usually, get a little bit more out of that next stage. So we'll see what they can get them here as they're on the white flag lap here for stage number 1 tonight at Iowa.
So you don't have any trends of the guy who wins the stage, how often he wins the race?
I'm not Larry Mack.
Yeah, you don't have the trends.
I'm not Larry Mack, unfortunately. Get a lucky number 7 is I believe the caution should come out here at any moment as 10th has crossed the line with Nick Alves in that final position for the stage. Looks like we might get one more lap in as there it is. Stage is out. And one extra lap, but hey, they made sure they got everybody across the line right. Well, it looks like at the end of the stage, it's going to be about a 7.7 second lead for Finsler. That is in 40 laps.
Massive.
They need to report that truck to the hauler. Test the underside of that truck or something. I don't know. He's got this track figured out here tonight. That's for sure, man.
Yeah, need to look at spoiler angle and you see, is that rear end kind of kicking out a little bit too much? Something, man. That's great. That's just great, and not only quick, but it helps to be consistent as well. Consistency is key. And and he's not the only one that's been consistent tonight. You got James Loveland has been consistent.
Well, that's the
Parker,
thing too.
he was doing pretty good up until the end.
Got to think too. Loveland and Multi's drivers who drove up here into this almost top 5 here were drivers that drove up and through, so they're gonna have a better shot here now. Less trucks to drive through as we all come down pit road. And what does Lee call it? A pit party.
Yeah, it's gonna be getting pretty busy right now. Everybody gonna be wanting some four fresh tires and some fuel. Some guys are gonna need some repairs done too.
Repairs going around, tires and Sunoco fuel being loaded into these trucks. 5 sets of tires here tonight, so this will be their second set debut. So 3 sets left here in the pits, so plenty of tires. And it looks like we got a full load of fuel here tonight. Also, 1 fast repair in the bag for these drivers. But I tell you what, these final 80 laps, it could be interesting. I mean, I personally feel like there's going to be no green flag stop there in that run.
Well, you beat me to it. I was just about to say, I think the fuel mileage around this track, you can get close to, I think, 90. It's somewhere in the 80-90 range. So no green flag pit stops, which means it's going to be I don't know what I'll put that word in there for. It's going to be so much more important to keep the tires under you on this run, as this run's going to be twice as long as the first stage.
Yeah, and that's going to make it interesting because, you come down that first time, you see your tire wear, and you're like, oof, can I make it to the end? That's the big yikes moment they say when you come in and you're like, oh, man, that right front is not happy. But we'll see. I mean, you're going to have to make it last. Does Finsler have to back up his pace? Or, I mean, Finsler was just so fast at the end, I think his tire wear had to be great.
I think so, too. I think, if you can... If that right front tire is no more than probably maybe 6 to 8% worse than right rear, then you're good. But if it's more than 10% more wear on the right front than the right rear, then you might have to start thinking about, okay, well, do I need to change what I'm doing in the corners? Do I just need to back up my entry to the corners to just mainly drive slower, save some tire for the end? What do I need to do to save that right front? Um, so that's a good thing about having a stage in like this is that you're able to get a look at that tire wear and adjust yourself rather than, say we didn't have the stage. Well, now we're going past the halfway point in the race, and you've destroyed your right front, and you're just hanging on for dear life, hoping that that wall doesn't come out and bite you.
The wall can bite. I will attest to that. It'll reach out there and get you. Right now, you got Trevor Earhart in that second position in the 25 with Kevin Orlando Jr. in the 27. In third, James Lovell in fourth, and Dylan Walter in fifth. See if these guys have anything for Jason Fensler. I believe the lights on the pace car should go out this next time by, so we'll get ready to go green flag racing. And man, I'll tell you what, of the drivers, up here in this top 10, Brian, who you think's got the best shot? Who you saying can go up here and slay Goliath here at Iowa?
Man, it's going to be tough. I mean, Jason is definitely the safe pick, but I am looking at James. It's all going to depend on how quickly he can get into second place. Right now he sits fourth, so he's got a couple trucks to get through. Depending on how much tire he uses to get around them and how long that's going to take, I think will determine his shot at a win here. And then looking at Parker Johnston too, I liked his speed in the first stage. Unfortunately, I think he's still got quite a bit of right front damage, so maybe not as good of a chance as he had earlier. Yeah, he got some of it fixed, but still there. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough call. It's a tough call.
Tough call indeed. Pace car going to look to come off of the racing surface here and get to pit road as we're ready to go back. Green flag racing here at the Underdog Race League. Green flag back in the air as Jason Fensler will take us off down to turn one. What a great restart for him. Looks like Earhart going to slide in the second with Orlando Jr. in the third, as Loveland's going to try to slide down to fourth with Baker fifth.
Got Baker fifth, and we got the freaky fast machine in sixth there, Dylan.
Looking freaky fast, I must say. Looks like Matt Job first battle on the racetrack between him and Parker Johnston. You got the 33 Justin Stunard, Nick Alves, Sean Hustle, and the 94 Lance Durham coming into the picture in that number 91. So a lot of trucks here getting into the bout here near the tail of the top 10.
Yeah, single file all the way back to seventh. Now they've figured it out. So now I got a really nice battle for 10th here. Sean Huffstutler just got around Nick and Brett there. And now they've sorted it out.
Now, Brian, this run here, this is a lot different than what we just experienced. We just experienced a 40-lap run. Now we're looking at around a 75-lap run. So, do you change as a driver your mentality from this stage from the last?
Well, a lot of it, of course, depends on that tire wear that you've seen after that pit stop at the end of the stage. But say if I had the tire wear that I had expected at the end of 40 laps, what I'm doing at the beginning of this run is I'm lifting maybe 20, 30, maybe 40 feet earlier, just trying to save that right front, because I want something at the end so that, those last 20 laps, I'm able to be maybe 500s, maybe even 700s or a tenth quicker than anybody else around me, so I can easily pass somebody when I get to them. Because that's the worst feeling, is knowing that you're quicker than somebody ahead of you, but you're just not quick enough to complete the pass. In Iowa, it's one of those tracks where if you don't want to have to pull a slide job, you're going to have to be quite a bit faster than the guy ahead of you.
Great stuff there, man, from yourself. Like I say, really knows how to drive a truck, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, I'll watch it firsthand all the time. But Fensler's got it figured out this season. One of the chinks in his armor. This is the only chink I'll give him, I guess. I mean, wow, this is a pretty small chink. I mean, 11 races so far this season. This is our 12th round here at the Iowa Speedway. 11 races so far. The guy's got 10 top 5s and 10 top 10s. So it seems like if he does have a bad race, it could possibly be out the top 10 for that one race. Didn't get top 5 or a top 10 that race. So must have had some issues in that one race there to mess himself up there. But 4 wins, 5 or 10 top 5s and 10 top 10s. Really, Sean Husteller, the only other driver to put up 10 top 10s, with Loveland 9 and Baker at 9 also. So it's, been a very strong season for Finsler. I mean, he hasn't won every race. That's the thing you got to be picturing. 10 top 5s, that is a great thing. I mean, Husteller 8 top 5s in that 94. He's having a rough night tonight. But Finsler has just been super dominant throughout this whole entire season. But I tell you what, the chink in his armor is sometimes there's little things that catch him off, and he doesn't get the victory.
Yeah, and I think right now, tonight, during this race, one of those things might be lap trucks. He might be coming up on the rear of the field, and somebody get into somebody, and he's caught up in it. And, nothing you can do. So really, I mean, at this point, I think his tire wear was fine at the end of those 40 laps. He's definitely got the speed. So the only thing is going to be trying to get through that lap traffic.
Yeah, getting through lap traffic, especially Iowa, can be interesting. If you come to a driver that has took your line away, and you say you like running that outside line. What if you come to a driver that's running that top line? How do you make the bottom work? And it just that's one of the tough things I feel like is just making different lines work for how your truck is driving for you.
Yeah, it's one of those deals too where you hope nobody has the Ryan Newman mentality. But I got the Ryan Newman mentality. Well, you in for a ride now.
You definitely are. It is one tough hombre to pass, as we know that for sure. It's hard to pass in a kidney stone.
That is what they say. As we everybody's sorted themselves out right now. Jason, Finsler, Trevor, Earhart, Kevin Orlando are top 3 right now. Just got some battles trying to come in here. Got Mike in 74 trying to make something work on Brett Summers in the 7. Ooh, is the 48. I believe he may have smacked the wall coming out of 4 again. And that checked up the 89 of Matt Job there too.
It definitely did check him up there. But I tell you what, 8 races left here before the playoffs start for the Underdog Racing League. So 8 rounds left after tonight. And then we also have All-Star race, so technically 9 rounds left before we head off into the playoffs. It's going to be interesting from there because it's just going to be a 6 round, 6 races, and drivers shoot it out from there, no rounds. So everything will reset there. They'll get bonus points awarded and such, and we'll see how it all plays out from there. But Fins are looking good. See if he can carry all this momentum from the regular season into that playoff. But if one of these other drivers just peak at the right time, you never know you can win the championship.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing is that some guys, it seems like they just kind of coast through the season, and then all of a sudden playoffs come, and they're battling for wins week in and week out, and you're like, well, what the heck, what happened? It's just one of those things where playoffs come around, some guys just really start hitting on it, and other guys start falling through the cracks. And so, yeah.
So, yeah. I like
so, yeah.
It's always the best response.
Put that on a t-shirt.
So, well, we were riding on board there with Nick Alves as he got passed by Husteller. Now we're riding with Brett Somers in at number 7 as he's running in the 10th position from 16th. So great run here to start a stage number 2 for himself as he holds on to that position right now. Still, Trevor Earhart in 2nd behind Jason Finsler with Kevin Orlando 3rd, James Loveland 4th, Ian Baker 5th as we continue on through this stage. And I tell you what, this race could definitely go green, Brian. I mean, these guys are racing very clean and a lot of through wide, a lot of things side by side racing that could have turned into issues, but everybody is racing very smart.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about Iowa. We keep talking about the different lines and everything, is that you can make just about any line work. So as I've just watched Matt Job finally get around Parker Johnson there. They've been side by side for probably about 10 laps. It's one of those deals where 48's making the outside lane work, 89's making the inside lane work, and nobody really wants to give an inch there. So, Iowa wide track, you got about 5 lanes to work with. Um, and I'm good with the green race. Green race is always good.
Oh, green races are fantastic. I love just seeing how the strategy plays out.
Big fan.
Who saves their stuff? Yeah, who saves their stuff, and it's just all about management from there. And I like drivers that can think about the big picture, not just think about the first 20 laps of a run, but think about that whole 75 lap run and where you're going to be when it comes down to 20 to go.
Am I seeing this correctly? Did James Loveland? No, he didn't. Never mind. Ignore me. I'm seeing things.
Loveland.
I just thought that Loveland had got around Kevin for third, but I got confused.
Yeah, he's turning about a little bit quicker times, 1,000th of a second over Orlando Jr. and more.
Hey, it's quicker.
Yeah, that's right. It is. All that matters. And about 1/10 over Earhart. So we'll see if he can maybe at some point go up here and challenge. I mean, we saw at the end of the last run he did start going forward, and if we have a longer run than last time, we'll see if anybody else has that extra gear, because I mean, that's a step farther than what we've seen. It's almost doubling up what we did. So someone could have that extra gear in that later part of the run.
5 gears. That's unheard of.
I know. They were about to say they need to test them cars. They got extra gears. I ain't never heard of that.
26 into the back of the 11. 11 had to check up for 7 and 24 racing side by side.
Yes, Brett Somers, Nick Alves battling it out. It looks like Michael Jr. in that 12th position right ahead of him is the 7. Looking to the outside of 24, almost stuck it in there, but that would have been dangerous. Looks like Somers going to continue backwards on that outside line as Peyton Presley in 11 starting to come into the picture, also up to that 15th position for that 11 truck.
Yeah, a lot of guys. I'm seeing some of these trucks out here. They're already pushing pretty badly. I'm looking at the lap and looking how many laps we got to go, and it's going to be a long 40 laps for some of these guys.
Yeah, it's I mean, when you double the run size, it's going to be a long run for anybody. I mean, everybody's going to think they're definitely starting to feel that tire wear, as they would say. And right now, this is definitely a more of an interesting run. We got less comers than goers so far, in my opinion, because we had that long stage run to kind of separate the field out and really pace. So now we're seeing guys where they're paced at, where they are in position wise. So it's kind of settled down, but. Like I said, in that extra 40 laps that we have on this run, it could find a new gear for that driver and be able to run a little bit quicker than its competition and slide up this leaderboard. As I don't know if anybody's sliding up past Jason Finsler, as he has been lights out tonight. And Brian, for what could these drivers definitely this is not a playoff race, so this isn't detrimental for the season lookout. The way he's dominating here tonight, but what's something these drivers could do after the race or during the race, even to learn from what Finsler's doing, because I feel like that's the best way to get faster, is learn from your competition.
Well, I mean, usually the best way to learn from somebody else is to ride behind them, but the thing about it is he's so far ahead, there's nobody behind him.
Yeah, I mean, what could you do then? I mean, that's a question, because. You're a driver that's come through the ranks, worked your way from, a lower tier driver to, now, winning really big name races.
I mean, I guess what I would do if I was struggling on speed a little bit and I'm like, man, I wish I could figure out what that leader's doing. I reckon what I'd do is I'd pull up the standings black box and maybe not on the front stretch when I cross the line, but maybe on the back stretch, take a look and see like, okay, now I'm this far behind him. Now I'm this far behind him. And while I'm doing that, I'm trying different things in the corner. And so it's like, okay, well, I lost less time that time, so that must be working. That must be closer to what he's doing. And if I'm seeing that I'm losing more time, I'm like, okay, well, that definitely didn't work. But that's something that you do, like if you're in Trevor Earhart in 25, if you're in his position, or maybe Kevin Orlando in his position, you're not racing for a position. You're just kind of riding by yourself, but you're trying to figure out, man, I really wish I could find where this extra tenth is. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it there, man. I definitely I like that approach. I would say also, us as on iRacing, we should got to shout out iRacing for giving us all the tools and the sim to be able to do what we do here. First of all, broadcast the race here with these drivers run around the Virtual Iowa Speedway, pretty much, the real one-to-one racetrack with the one-to-one race cars and trucks, and it's just an amazing sight to see. First of all, with iRacing.com, but as a competitor on iRacing.com, we have a lot of tools to be able to get better in my opinion. In real life and in racing situations, you don't always have the onboard footage, you know, the exact camera shot that you need to see what that guy's running. But in iRacing, we have the ability, if we're in that race with that competition, we can record anything and document anything that they've done and, use that to better ourselves. So I think it's a tool that more drivers should use. Is just, looking at what the other driver's doing and paying attention, watching him and saying, can I replicate that? Because that's personally how you do it. I mean, that's how you learn, in my opinion. And I think it's something that iRacers were definitely beneficial in having.
Yeah, it's definitely like for after the race stuff.
Yes.
There's so much you can do, especially, we kind of get to cheat a little bit on the stock car side of things, because now I'm not really in tune to what kind of telemetry technology that the real guys in NASCAR do nowadays. But I mean, in iRacing, we have telemetry for everything, and you can access that if you know where to go, whether it be VRS or Motec or whatever you use. And if you can get that telemetry and then you learn how to read it and learn how to get better from it, I mean, that's huge. That's probably the biggest thing you could do for yourself, is just look at telemetry and get other people's telemetry and compare yourself to it, especially if they're running 2-3 tenths quicker. Like, oh, this is what they're doing, this is what I'm doing, maybe I need to match what they're doing. And sometimes you can combine what you're doing, what they're doing, and it's even better. So yeah, so many tools out there.
Definitely some tools. And I'll tell you what, who's using tools right now is James Loveland. 56 up to the third position, past Kevin Orlando Jr. Now Ian Baker in 88, starting to put a little pressure on this 27 as this run continues on. As now we will be at the same point of the run as we were before. So now this is unknown territory for these drivers. Let's see who can conquer this. Loveland, I tell you what, he had a flirt with the wall right there.
Yeah, very flirtatious. There were some drinks bought on that one. Ooh, right there too.
Ooh, Baker and Orlando Jr. They're very close. That's bringing Walterman in here in the 46. This is something we've seen multiple drivers racing side by side, slowing each other down. Kevin Orlando Jr. just hit a motocross jump on the outside out there in 1 and 2. There's a giant bump out there. And, Baker's going to make the pass, though, slide himself up to fourth down. Walterman saying, I want you to. Here comes the crossover.
That's my favorite move, crossover. Ooh, but not right now. Oh no! Save it, buddy, save it. Oh no!
And that's going to bring out our first caution, first real caution of the night, other than the same caution.
Damn. Caught that live
on Freaky Fast. Yeah, caught that one live. But man, a little bit of contact between the driver of the 27, the 88, Ian Baker here, as the Freaky Fast broadcast replay here will be up, as Lee likes to call it, the Carnage replay. Oh man, just slid up the track just a little bit in that 27, and a little bit of contact there, making that rear end hop up in that truck into the outside wall. And I tell you what, unfortunate to see for the 88 Ian Baker starting for 13th, drove himself fighting there, or drove himself all the way in the top 5, fighting for a top 4 position, and a little bit of contact leading to him spinning.
Yeah, and that's just hard racing right there. Two guys really trying to get at it, battle for fourth there, I believe. So, and right there in that point of the run, I mean, you're getting to the point where you really got to start taking everything you can get. And now these guys are going to get some tires.
I was about to say, taking everything you can get. Well, they're about to get some tires, because they will definitely take them. And there you go, see the 5. Jason Fensler pulling to his box. No issues there. Into the box, nice and clean. Second placement, Trevor Earhart there in 25. Also, a nice clean entry into the box. It'd be interesting to see if anybody can get out in front of this 5 here. If someone could do that and maybe, give them just some type of shot, we could see something change up here. Because other than that, man, this 5 has just looked untouchable.
Yeah, pretty good. And now I got a question for you, Zach. You
Yes,
being
sir.
a setup guy and all. Now on that pit stop, it's obvious we're taking tires, but what are we doing with fuel? Are we just adding enough to where we know we're going to be good with 3 green white checkers or however many we got, or are we not adding any, or full tank? What are we doing with the fuel?
That's going to depend. That comes from the driver's seat there, and that's going to depend on how that balance is. If your truck is a little bit free, you're going to want to lead that fuel load out. What in turn happens, everybody out there, you have the fuel tank in the back of these race cars near the rear end. So anytime you have fuel in the car, it's going to weigh that rear end down, drop the spooler out the air, lower than rear ride heights. You're going to be a little bit looser, and the weight of the car is going to be more centered on them rear tires. So that's going to cause a little bit of a loose condition there. And it will in turn really just going to make you turn a little bit better, in my opinion. So if you're loose, we're going to not take fuel. But if you are on that tight side, you're going to want to definitely take that fuel to help make that truck turn. And I think that's what these drivers are doing. You're definitely going to want to put fuel in here. You can make it to the end. I wouldn't even worry about a green white checker too much, personally, because I think you can save so much on a caution here at these short tracks. But the thing I would say is just balance wise, I think you're putting fuel in this truck to help loosen it up, get that spoiler out the air, and put that weight over that rear.
I agree 100%.
And that's a cool thing. We have with the racing we're doing here in Iowa. This is fixed setup racing. To anybody out there that doesn't really understand iRacing, all these drivers, their trucks all perform the exact same way. Toyotas, Chevrolets, and Fords, all of them deep down inside are the same car. It's just pretty much the body here in fixed setup racing.
Aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so pretty much everybody out here's got the same exact equipment. The only adjustments we can make to our cars is our steering ratio, our steering offset, our brake bias, and then the amount of fuel we put on the car or the tires we put on. So not many options in fixed setup racing, but there is options out there to change your truck around with brake bias and steering offsets and steering ratios. So there is a little bit of wiggle room there, but then that's where you get into the open setup area where there's a million different things you can do with setups. I mean,
and I'll tell you real quick, just to interject here with the fixed setup adjustments that you do have, it may not be a lot, but the steering ratio makes a world of difference with the tire wear, and the steering offset, that's just a preference thing. But the brake bias, if you're at a track where you're using the brakes, again, can help with tire wear, can help with speed. I mean, you'd be amazed at the guys, they go into the corner and they're really tight and they're losing 2/10, and you tell them like, hey, just bump the brake bias back to the rear a little bit, and all of a sudden they gain 3/10 out of nowhere. It's crazy.
It definitely is, especially when you're using brakes to short tracks. It gives us a whole other option. So great point there from you, Brian, as pace cars are going to pull in this time. We're going to go back green flag racing. There goes the 5 of Jason Fensler. Not the greatest start from the 25 of Earhart. We're right on board here, going down to turn 1. It looks like Orlando Jr. going to get to the inside of this 25. Can the 25 fight off the 27 here to hold on to this top 2 position as the 5 rockets off into the sunset?
Yeah, he's gone, and I just realized James Loveland, he lost a couple conditions there on that pit stop. So he's got some ground to make up there as, oh man, 33 dives down below the 27. See if he can make this work. The 27 trying to set him up for the exit, maybe a little bit of crossover. Not quite yet. He's going to have to work a little harder to get that position back.
Yeah, I tell you what, Stunnards showed some really good short run pace here tonight. After 20 or so laps, he definitely in that 33 starts to, in my opinion, drop back a little bit. Maybe he's figured out that condition though. But this is going to be the shortest run we got all night, so he can be positioning himself pretty well here for the end of this race as he moves up to the top 3.
Yeah, look at that, freaky fast P5.
Yep, Dylan Waltman there fighting again. He is the winner at Bristol, and he was very strong there. So see if he can continue some of that short track prowess that he has, and sees all over the back of the 27. Looks like James Loveland back behind Sean Hufsteller now, so back to 7th for Loveland. So he slides back even another position. As
he smacked the wall out of 2 last lap.
Oh no, that's never good for the
right rear damage.
That he does. You see here on the freaky fast camera shot. He's got Matt Job in the 89 directly behind him. We got Nick Alves passing Lance Durham behind him to move himself up the 9th. As Durham's going to go back to the inside of 91 directly behind there is the battle.
A little bit of a slide job, a little bit of crossover maneuver. Can't make crossover work though, so Lance will take that one back.
No crisscross.
Baker.
Looks like a little bit of damage on the left front of that 24 there. Possibly maybe some contact from the right side of another truck on the infield corners is what I'm expecting. They slide up into him, or maybe a 24 coming down into a truck. That's multiple ways you can get that left front damage there. And it looks like not terrible, not splitter damage, but definitely some damage.
Yeah, and that's luckily, iRacing's damage model is pretty good, but it doesn't have everything that they do in real life. And one thing that I'm glad they don't have is tire rubs.
Yeah,
so that would be a tire rub right there.
It definitely. One day we will have it, I guarantee. Is up front now, the battle between the 33 of Stunnard and the 46 of Dylan Waltman, using the freaky fast colors to avail here, trying to set up this 33 to get into a top 3 position. Even Hustler coming forward in the 94 here late in the race, and that's something that Sean Hustler does all the time. It seems like late race situations, this 94 always puts itself in position up to the top 5 now for Sean Hustler.
And I gotta wonder, Kevin Orlando seems to be dropping back here, but I gotta wonder, has he hit the wall and he's slow? Is he, has the track changed, or is he saving tires? Is he in it for the long haul?
Maybe so. It's just not too long of a run, so I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out for him here as he gets passed by the 56 at level, and here he goes back to the inside. Ooh, I don't know if they're saving any tires there, Brian.
True. I think my question has been answered.
It was 89 Job. The big move on him. He goes to the inside. It's 27 under attack. Just not able to get going this run. That 27 for Kevin Orlando Jr. after driving up to the top 3.
And I gotta say, we're not seeing Jason get out quite as far in front as we have in runs past. 25 sticking with him.
Yeah, Earhart's doing a lot better job. Last time by was about a 10th and a half between those two. To advantage to Finsler, but I tell you what, we got a caution. Looks like a car around at 4. Looks like the 27 or Kevin Orlando Jr. has went around in 3 and 4, and I think that might have been a little contact there. As we'll bring up the freaky fast replay here. The 91 of Lance Durham here directly behind that 27. Oh, and into the corner, into the rear, sending that 27 into a drift, and the 27 of Kevin Orlando Jr. from there is kind of no man's land.
I did a great job keeping the back end of that truck from backing into the wall. He got so close, but gassed it up, kept it off the wall. Great job.
Yeah, it's a great job for him. The only thing, it's a bad timing here as he was dropping back, but man, it's just unfortunate he's going to lose a lot of track position here. Have to almost slide back to that 20th position.
And I gotta say, in the 91's defense there, Lance, you're going into the corner and you got 20 laps left. And it's so hard to tell, especially if you just come up on a guy or if he's dropped back to you. You hadn't ridden behind him for 2, 3 laps, so you don't really know where his breaking point is, how much he's going to slow down. So that just caught him off guard there, and unfortunately, it was at Kevin's expense.
Interesting call here on pit road. I was wondering if anybody would elect to do it. It looks like 2 tires has been selected from the 46 of Waltzman. I was hoping a few more drivers would do it just to put the situation into some interesting hands here. But Waltzman now going to control the restart with 2 tires.
Man, I think you're going to agree with me on this, Zach. 2 tires are great for track position, but the way this truck handles here in the last few laps, I'm not sure, because you've got those left side tires. You've ridden on them; they're nice and warm. Temperatures are up, pressures are up, and then you got some fresh right sides. Well, those pressures are of the pressures of fresh tires. So that split between the left side tires and the right side tires is less, which means that you're going to be a little bit tight here to start out. Even though you do have fresher tires on the right side, which should give you more grip on the right side than the left side, but pressures I think matter more in this situation. So if he can hold on for probably about 5-6 laps, I think he'll be okay. It might not be a bad call.
Yeah, we'll have to see. The only thing I don't like about it is the timing. Just a little bit too long. If this was a short, dash to the end, I think 2 tires is maybe the right call. Just 14 laps, just so much time, in my opinion, to hold somebody off with 2 tires.
The other thing about it is that if Trevor can nail this restart right here and get side by side with the 5, either going into 1 or coming out of 2, and say if he can even pass him, as long as you get a truck or 2 in front of that 5 truck, then this whole race has changed.
Tell you what, the 25, if he can follow the 46 through, that's going to be the big key right there, I think. Like you said, if we can get a truck in between that 5, like you said, it wasn't that big a difference between the 25 and the 5 there last time. If the 25 can get ahead, what does the 5 do? Does he have the ability to pass? I mean, we've seen people be able to hold people off all night.
And
I think
the other thing about it,
like this.
we will find out shortly, I believe. Maybe those brand new lights on top of that brand new pace car are going to shut off, and they do. What do you think about that sedan style pace car, Zach?
Personally, I'm not gonna lie, it's not too bad. I think I've seen a lot of people say they think it's not the greatest looking, but I would drive it. I'd totally drive that car. That car is pretty nice.
It's okay. I do gotta say though, if you ever seen pictures of cars from Chinese manufacturers, it's very similar to that. They didn't want to make it too brand sensitive, but it's pretty similar to those.
Interesting there. Is this car in this time, and Waltzman off and away in that 46, but the 5, Afinza was on. He's gonna race side by side into the corner, and this is gonna keep coming clear. And the 40 fight back on the bottom. I don't know if the 46 is gonna have enough to go down the 3
Got to do a sled job right now.
Yeah, the top line is going to be the preferred line, I think, here. Into the 3 and 4, 5 comes down the racetrack side by side off of 2. Great racing here as we're coming to 10 to go.
3 about got into the back of the 25 right there, but even though the 5 has just about gotten clear of the 46, that did slow him up just a little bit, though. It's just going to be a matter of Who's got the tires? Who's got the time? Who's got the speed?
Justin Stoner there in the 33, looking on the bottom of that 25 with Trevor Earhart, trying his best to get around him, but Trevor was able to run that higher line, able to get the good run off of 4, clear him, and slide back in the third. As Waltzman doing a great job on the 2 tires, not letting Finsler get away.
Oh, he's doing fantastic. Those 2 tires are way above my expectations.
Yeah, he's hanging on very nicely. I mean, with 8 to go here, if he can hang on for
33 and 94 get together going in 1.
94 into the 33, I think a little bit of contact there on entry is the 33. I think thought the 94 was going to be lower. Contact on entry, that sends the 33 up the racetrack, and he's going to lose a lot of momentum, slide back, racing side by side here with Matt Job now in the 89.
That stacks up to 24 and a 56 right there.
Tell you what, though, Earhart looking to possibly get the second spot back. Can Huffstutler position himself into the top 3? He's been a top 10, top 5 magnet all season long, and he's back into the top 5 again after really being out of the top 5 for most of this race. But here comes the battle for second. Trevor Earhart to the inside of the 46 of Dylan Walterman with 6 to go.
And I think Dylan is in the lane that he needs to be with those 2 tires. I think 2 tires up top is going to be his best shot at keeping second place.
Yeah, this could be a heck of a call. May not get, like we said, it's not going to be the win here, it looks like, for that 46, but he could definitely be able to hold on to the second here. That would be a big win in my books. As side by side off of 2, run for the 25, the 46 got in too hot. Here comes the 25 of Earhart. He elects to take the middle, and the 46 on the outside on the seam was the run like here off of 4 dead. 46 gets the run down the front straightaway.
Tight racing here for second place. Is 94 Sean Huffstutler? He's trying to sneak into the picture a little bit.
Yes, he is. If anybody slips up here, Huffstutler will be in position. And look at the comeback from the 88 of Ian Baker to the top 5 after that spin. Great job for that young man in the 88 as he's worked his way back up. But 3 to go now for Jason Finsler up front as the battle for second rages on.
And I think right now, barring any cautions, Jason, unless he makes a monumentous mistake, we're gonna be looking for the battle for second. And right now, Dylan is doing everything right. He just can't let that pressure get to him. No mistakes, and I think he's gonna have the second place. But Trevor is not letting it be easy on him.
Not easy one bit at all. 2 to go here down the back straightaway. Earhart pulls a nose ahead. This is his shot here down to the 3 and 4. 46 on that quarter panel, not letting him slap the racetrack, giving him the room he needs as Finsler will take the right back here tonight at the Iowa Speedway. One final time right here for the Underdog Racing League. Great racing. The 46 able to close that. The 94 almost to the back bumper of the 25. The battle for second is getting hot. Third could possibly be in contention here too. Walsman needs one more corner to get that second position home. Can he do it? Here comes the 94, Sean Huffstutler on the inside of Trevor Earhart. Can he get up to third? Oh, no. Earhart into the wall, but who comes home third as Finsler wins? Walterman second, Sean Huffstutler third. Wow.
9 thousandths between third and fourth right there.
Man, oh, man. It looks like Earhart was bounced off the wall there, made one final mistake coming to the flag, and that sealed the deal for him as Jason Finsler brings home the victory. Unfortunate there for that 25 as he ran second pretty much all night there till the very end.
What a finish.
Got a freaky fast logo on that truck that finished second. Great to see here as Jason Finsler is going to bring him down to the front straightaway. And guess what, Robert? He says he's going to do burnouts for you. I'll tell you that Robert is very happy. Yeah, now look at the smoke physics from iRacing. Thank you, iRacing, for giving us some better smoke out there on the racetrack to smoke up our screens here, but we will go to a quick break here, everybody, as we get our top 3 finishers up here in the interview room. All right, we are back here, everybody, at the Iowa Speedway with the Underdog Racing League here at Freaky Fast Broadcasters. We have our top 3 finishers here tonight, and let's hear what Sean Hustler has to say after he stole his 3rd place finish up here in the 94. Hey, Sean, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
I tell you what, man, fantastic battle back for you tonight in that 94. Able to get another great top 3 finish here for yourself, man. I tell you what, after stage 1, finishing in the 14th position, tell us how you bounced back to finish 3rd here at the end of this race.
Just tried to keep my truck clean, and I started running the high line and kind of staying away from the traffic. It was real hard to pass tonight, and a lot of beating and banging early. So I elected to kind of stay back and just kind of pick my way through, take the low line when I could in 3 and 4, and just ride around.
Tell you what, it was a great rebound for yourself. Like you said, moved up to the high line, got your way up there, man. I tell you what, 94 was able to slide into that 3rd position as a 25 got into the wall. Great finish there for that 3rd position. But next week we head off to Talladega, the wild card itself. How do you feel about going plate racing?
Flip a coin. Anything can happen there. You can have a great race, or you could be wrecked in the first 5 laps. Who knows?
That's a definite fact for sure. Definitely anything could play out there. We'll have to see how that all shakes out here, man. But congrats on 3rd here tonight, Sean. Before we let you go, anybody you want to send a shout out to?
Hey, just you guys. Great broadcast. Way to represent the league, and it's an honor to have you guys on board.
We appreciate it very much, Sean, here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. You guys saying that, and we always love to bring the action here at the Underdog Racing League. But, man, you have a great night, and we'll catch you next week at Talladega.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too. All right, that was Sean Hustler, as Lee says, the professor, able to get himself up into the top 3 here tonight, 2nd in points, 2 entering tonight. So good run for himself again. But now we'll move on to Dylan Walterman, our winner from Bristol, to see what his thoughts are tonight, finishing 2nd in his number 46 machine. Hey, Dylan, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I do.
I tell you what, Dylan, great run for yourself here tonight, man, at Iowa. Able to position yourself there on that last stop with a 2-tire change to put yourself into a top 3 conversation as you're running top 5 there, right there around 6 to top 5, right there on the edge of the top 5 all night long in that 46, starting from that 11th position, coming on right up through. But, man, what made you make the 2-tire call there at the end?
The way I looked at it is I was already outside the top 5, like you were saying, and I just kind of said, for the heck of it, I'm gonna try the 2-tire stop. I've had it work one time before, so what was the worst that I was gonna do? Finish outside top 5 again?
Hey, that's exactly right. That was a great call the way and great way to look at it too, from your position. And they're you were in that first position there coming to the green flag. Do you feel like, because it seemed like it was just all night long, it was tough to pass. Wasn't able to get clear off of 2 with the 5. Do you feel like if you could have got maybe up to that top side there and cleared the 5 off turn 2, do you feel like you maybe could have had a shot to hold him off?
Honestly, no, I don't think I would have. I just couldn't get on that, the 2-tire stop. I just couldn't get the car into the corner and turn it like I could with 4 tires. So I probably could have held him up for a little bit, but he would have got around me right away.
He definitely was very strong on that. And I tell you what, man, though, great job holding off the rest of the field with the 2 tires there to hang on to second. It was fun to watch. You and Trevor Earhart there battle down to the very end, side by side, working out outside groove in the 46. But next week we head off to Talladega to see if you can get your second season here at the Underdog Racing League, man, after you win at Bristol. But before we let you go for your second place finish here tonight, man, anybody wants to shout to?
Just shout out to you actually allowing me to put the paint or your guys' broadcast onto my car, the paint scheme.
Oh, yeah. About that. Yeah. It's Freaky Fast logo on there.
Yeah.
To that thing, huh?
Yeah, it brought me luck, and I appreciate it. And yeah, you guys with the great broadcast, Justin for the league, and then battle with Trevor. It was a great battle, and I'm glad he didn't push it too hard and wreck me. So yeah, I give him props for holding it.
Awesome stuff, Dylan, man. Well, thank you for running our logo like we said. We appreciate it. We love the way it looks, buddy. But we'll catch you next week in Talladega. Hopefully we'll see you in Victory Lane.
I hope so. I'm not very good at those plate races. I'm tend to be the guy to push people to the front, and then I get shuffled back. So we'll see.
Hopefully it's them pushing you to the front and shuffling back, buddy. But we'll catch you next week.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That was a great guy there, Dylan Walterman there running the Freaky Fast colors and logo on his race car. Thank you very much, Dylan, there for your second place finish. Now we'll move on to man for his 5th win of the season here at the Iowa Speedway, Jason Fensler. Hey, Jason, stack up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jason, another great performance for yourself here tonight as we're back on asphalt here at the Iowa Speedway. Your 5th win of the season. And I'll tell you what, tonight there was not many things touching this 5 car tonight. It was just on rails here at the Iowa Speedway. Just explain to us how, the performance here tonight from yourself in this 5 machine.
Well, I mean, Trevor was keeping me honest after the break, but the setup was so tight that you really had to be disciplined, take care of the right front tire. So I just really kind of concentrated on that. And that last yellow came out. I was a little bit concerned if anybody was going to stay out, but I went ahead and pitted. But Dylan had a good call, take 2 tires and made it work.
Yeah, definitely. That was an excellent call from that 46. He made it work to get second. Do you feel like if a few more drivers maybe made that call for 2 tires, it would have been tough for you to possibly get back up here? Because we've seen tonight with the guys back in the pack, you never got back there starting on the pole, and other than starting second there at the end, you kind of were smooth selling on all through tonight, clear traffic. You feel like if you got back a few positions, would it have been tough to get back up there?
I don't think so. This place is such a track position place. And you kind of saw that there at the end for second. I mean, you race side by side, it's really tough to get any advantage. So if I would have been shuffled back, probably 3rd to 4th, 5th, somewhere in there, I probably wouldn't have made it back up.
Definitely would have been interesting, man. But I tell you, played your cards right here tonight in the 5. Looked very dominant out there. And like I said, was just really good with the right front tire. We was able to really be super quick at the end of those long runs here we had tonight. And next week we head to Talladega. And also, guys, shout out you two for doing a burnout for us. I just remember that. Robert was really happy about that. Last time we were up here, he asked for it, and you gave it to him in our first asphalt race back after the second place last week for you there at Knoxville. I unfortunately had to miss. So, man, I tell you what, that was a great race. But we head to Talladega next week, the wild card. What do you think we can expect from that?
Well, if we're rolling at the end, I'll consider that a good race. It is such a wild card. The draft is with this new build, we don't know what we got either. So it's going to be definitely a wild card. And yes, the burnout was for Robert. I'm a man of my word, so I went in and gave it to him.
Well, I'll tell you what, we appreciate that very much, man. Iris has got the new smoke physics. They look great. The burnout was one of the best burnouts I've seen so far on iRacing for us. So congrats on that, man. Congrats on the win here tonight. But before we let you go and pack it up and get ready to head to Talladega next week, anybody want to send a shout out to you, Jason?
Again, you guys up in the broadcast booth, you do a great job. My friends and family enjoy watching it, and then all the competitors and the league guys, the guys that put it on, they do a great job, and all the competitors as well. So I appreciate it.
Awesome stuff, Jason, man. Well, congrats on the win here tonight, man. Your 5th of the season, and we'll catch you next week at Talladega. You have a fantastic night.
Sounds good, boys. Thank you.
All right, that was Jason Finsler, your race winner here tonight for the Underdog Racing League. What a fantastic race it was all night long here for 120 laps. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, but we'll go ahead and bring up our race results here and let you see where your favorite drivers finished here tonight with our 22 race trucks. And there it is. Your race results are up. Jason Finsler will bring home that victory. Second is going to go to Dylan Walterman. Third is going to be the Professor Sean Huffstetler. Fourth is going to be Trevor Earhart. Fifth, Ian Baker. Sixth is Eddie Wildermuth. Seventh, James Loveland. Eighth, Matt Job. Ninth, Justin Stunnard. 10th place, round out your top 10 will be Nick Alves in the 24. 11th is going to go to Lance Durham. 12th, Parker Johnston. 13th, Dennis Steele. 14th, Scott Kerberg. 15th, Mike Allo Jr. 16th, Daryl Whitford. 17th, Brett Somers. 18th, Kevin Orlando Jr. 19th, Kevin Whitford. 20th, Christopher Heights. 21st, Peyton Presley. And 22nd to round out your field is Michael Simmons. As that is our race results here tonight from the Iowa Speedway. And I tell you what, fantastic battle in there for that second place position. A great truck out front here tonight. Jason Finsler, our points leader. Just great stuff overall. But Brian, we thank you for coming up here in the booth tonight, man. How much fun did you have at least?
Man, it was a lot of fun. I like it was mostly green race, a little caution sprinkled in there, but I mean, you can't get any better than these trucks at a short track. You just can't. And with these guys too, these guys really know how to race each other very, very well, which is great to see. I mean, yeah, Jason just hit it out of the park tonight. A lot of guys trying to play catch up with him, but man, just great racing and great finish there for third and fourth, and you can't ask for anything better.
You definitely can, man. So thank you, everybody, like we said, for tuning in here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's been a fantastic week of broadcasting here each and every week, all the leagues we bring. So we thank all those leagues, especially thanking to the Underdog League here tonight at the Iowa Speedway. It's been very fun up here in the booth, but we'll send it up to Robert Moyer Jr., our boss man himself, to close out tonight.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for calling a great race here. Thank you to Underdog Racing League for bringing all the good action here at Iowa. It was fun watching these guys out. Like Brian said, a little yellows here, a little yellows there, but it was fun. And congratulations to Jason, man, running a great race, strong race, and just out there on his own, And I know a lot of these drivers here were trying to figure it out, but you go to some tracks and you got drivers that can just dominate. You got other tracks that they don't dominate at. That's just the nature of racing. But I tell you what, it was fun. Like you said, Zach, we had a great week of racing here at Freaky Fast. We props to iRacing with the new build that they gave us. A lot of work behind the physics that they have done, the smoke, the new pace car. I mean, we got a lot new tracks. We got Cup now that's going to be doing some dirt Bristol. We now have that you're going to be seeing scattered around all over the internet here now. Which is going to be fun to watch. But man, it was great. So again, thank you everybody out there on YouTube and Facebook for tuning in. Brian, thank you for hopping in and joining us up here tonight, man. We do miss you up here, and it's good to have you here every once in a while when you got the time. And hopefully you can do this again with us here at Freaky Fast in the future. But everybody else, have a great week. We won't see you until Saturday night. Until then, we want to say God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Candy time.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping now. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away.